Hi, Instagram fam. Hope you're doing well. Let's give Facebook just a second to get connected here as well. They're always lagging behind. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about ClickUp, one of my favorites, specifically about time tracking and some of the abilities that you are able to do with time tracking within ClickUp. So I think we've got Facebook on here with us as well. Again, we're going to be talking about time tracking within ClickUp and some of the benefits that you have from being able to use that feature, and maybe even some workarounds if the native features don't work for you. So let's get started. All right. So the first thing that you'll need to do within your ClickUp workspace is to actually go into your settings. So when you have your ClickUp workspace open, down in the bottom left, there's these little circles. It's going to have like your logo or icon for your business. If you click on those, you'll be able to pull up your settings. So once you get there, you'll see that there's something called Click Apps. When you open Click Apps, you'll see several options down below. It's in alphabetical order, but starting with the T's, you'll want to turn on time estimates, maybe even time estimates roll up, time tracking, and possibly that time tracking roll up as well, just depending on how you want to use these features. But if these aren't turned on, then you won't be able to track time or put time estimates on task without these Click Apps activated. So once you have those things activated, then and you need to actually choose the spaces as well. It might say 9 out of 14 spaces or something like that. If for some reason it's not activated in all of your spaces, then you won't be able to use it in the inactivated spaces. Deactivated. There you go. Okay, so once you have that option, then you can go into whichever space, whichever list that you're wanting to track time or add a time estimate, and then you should then see that little icon. It's up there where the due date is. You'll actually see like a little time tracker and a place to add a time estimate, especially the time estimate's going to be on each individual task. So when you have it open, it's going to be up there where I was saying where the due date is to actually add the time tracked for that task. And then if you're actually setting the task for someone else, you can put how much time is allotted or how long this should take theoretically, etc. So that does give a good idea of about how long something is going to take, and then kind of give you an idea to be able to monitor if something took longer than what the estimate was, either to see if your estimate was way off, and then you can kind of readjust from there, or to see if there was some kind of issue or something else is going on, right? Let's see. Yeah, so again, we talked about how to turn on the time estimates as well. That is a good feature, especially in agencies or where a lot of people are working really on one big task, but it's several different people in there, and you are charging a project based off the hours or something like that of how long it takes. Perhaps those people bill you hourly and you bill the client hourly. It's going to be really important to make sure you're actually keeping track of the task and setting a goal for those estimates. So again, just making sure that you have those Click Apps turned on, and then that you're actually identifying what the estimate is if you're going to use that feature. So we can talk about some different ways to use that time tracking feature, and we've touched on it a little bit for time blocking, and then again, having multiple team members. So for example, we worked with an agency that was like a full service digital marketing agency. And when they had an actual project, one task with a subtask was for the team to work on, and it had different assignees and all of that stuff. But we still have to monitor the amount of time, right? So again, it needs to fit according to your business model and what makes sense. I don't necessarily use time estimates within my business, but I've seen it in use where it makes sense for other businesses. Time reports, so it's still a bit limited within ClickUp in terms of the reporting features. However, you can use dashboards to accomplish this. I have set up several different kinds of dashboards, even individual team member dashboards, so they can see how much time they've spent this week or kind of get an idea. And we've used tags to filter by clients and etc. You'll get the most time tracking features on the business plan. There are a few of the widgets in the dashboards that you cannot get if you're not on the business plan. So I would recommend that if you're really wanting to use ClickUp as your main time tracker and have the reports pulled all within there. So yeah, that's a big thing, is that it could be a possible reason to upgrade if you don't have that already and you really want to use it. Something that we use in our business is actually Toggle. Toggle, as well as other time tracking apps, can integrate with ClickUp. So when I integrate Toggle, they can actually track directly from the task, and then it goes over to my Toggle, which is a free Toggle account. And with that, we can actually pull more clear reports than what I see are currently available on ClickUp. But if you want to keep it all within ClickUp, that's still possible. So if you have questions about time tracking or even building out dashboards and things like that for time tracking, if you're using an agency and that makes sense for you, let me know, comment below, send me a DM, that's fine. Again, you've heard us talk a lot about our VIP day offers as well. If you're looking to get ClickUp set up for your business and it seems like an overwhelming beast, because it is at first, chat with us. We would love to support you with a VIP day where you can get all of this done within a day and not have to have months of back and forth and feeling like the project is never going to end. That is the downside to just jumping into a project that can take 6 to 8 weeks, and then it takes 12 to however many weeks, because sometimes communication is subpar. So let's chat about your options with a ClickUp VIP day. If you have additional questions for me, again, send me a DM, send me an email, comment below on the actual live, and we'll get back to you with answers. Thanks again so much for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Bye.